Ancient civilizations' secrets still amaze both scientists and theorists today. With advancing technology, we are uncovering more about these past societies, while also forming better ideas about the unidentified artifacts we find. Yet, some discoveries, along with the myths supporting them, go beyond the limits of even our current scientific understanding. Among the most popular of these surprising myths and artifacts is the concept of ancient stargates, or what some call the gates of the gods, often featured in movies and TV shows. These structures, which seem to serve no obvious purpose and are frequently found in remote, unrelated locations, become even more mysterious when combined with supporting myths and surrounding symbols. Together, they reveal a deeper mystery, and it takes us deeper into the layers of mystery. Let's uncover the facts about the most astonishing ancient stargates around the world together. One of the most baffling places for archaeologists is the town of Tiahuanaco in western Bolivia. Located 400 meters above sea level, the city was built using massive stones weighing up to 60 tons, transported from miles away to precisely mark this specific location. Although we don't know exactly when it was built, research has uncovered ruins in the city dating back to 1500 BC known as the Eternal City by the locals. Tiahuanaco was fully abandoned around 1000 AD, but here's the interesting part. According to ancient accounts, the city was actually founded by the gods in 14,000 BC, during the time before the Great Flood. After the Great Flood, the city was abandoned due to changes in climate and geography. However, around 1500 BC, as I mentioned earlier, the descendants of this ancient culture started using it again. This is supported by evidence showing that the temple and its main complex, Pumapunku, were once home to over 100,000 people. But here's the thing, if the city was really built around 1500 BC, as history books suggest, it's almost impossible. The region at that time, much like today, was mostly covered in dry deserts, and the climate wasn't very suitable for living. Even more interesting, the structures that align with the stars aren't positioned according to their locations in 1500 BC, but instead match their positions from 14,000 years ago. According to geological predictions and natural remnants found underground, it's understood that the region had a much more habitable climate and vegetation around 10,000 to 15,000 years ago. At the heart of this mysterious city lies the even more enigmatic Sun Gate, a massive 10-ton structure. When observed alone, it marks the sunrise at specific times of the year. When combined with myths, this gate takes on an entirely different meaning. According to legend, a god descended through this ancient gate into Tiahuanaco and founded the city of Pumapunku, allowing humans to multiply and spread. What makes it even stranger is that, as far as we know, no culture from that time had the tools or technology to build such structures. The stones used in the construction of Pumapunku, including the Sun Gate, and the specific rocks from the region, are all made of andesite, a rock harder than almost anything else, second only to diamond. To carve and shape such a hard stone into the precise forms we see today, there are really only two options: a diamond-tipped drill or a laser. Many experts have stated that even with today's most advanced machines, shaping these stones with such precision would be a difficult task. When you combine all this advanced technology, a city aligned with the stars, and the myths, it's hard not to think that what ancient civilizations called gods, and what we now refer to as ancient aliens, used these gates to enter and exit the region, guiding the development of this culture to such an advanced level. Years ago, a group of explorers and archaeologists, while wandering through the jungles of Sri Lanka, discovered the ancient city of Usra, which was mentioned in local myths. The city had massive underground networks, and the explorers found circular figures carved into the walls at certain points. At the time, the meaning of these symbols was unknown until they were re-examined with modern technology. The symbol, known as the Sakra Chakra and considered sacred by local Buddhist monks, was discovered to be a map of our solar system when examined closely. The central part of the symbol represents the sun, while the dots either mark other stargate locations on Earth or key points of importance between them. What's even more fascinating is that similar symbols found throughout the tunnel system sometimes reference Earth, while others seem to depict different planetary structures. Electromagnetic tests conducted on the site revealed a significant increase in electromagnetic energy when the measuring devices were brought near the symbols. It's as if the entire complex functions as an interstellar station, with various regions acting as portals. Ongoing detailed research continues today to explore this fascinating phenomenon. Let me introduce you to the mysteries of ancient times, ones we wouldn't expect to come across. The ancient Abydos Temple in Egypt is one of the most enigmatic structures ever discovered. Unlike many others in the region, this temple contains carvings that researchers hadn't encountered before. Among the most famous, which have appeared in modern media, are these carvings that resemble modern vehicles. The secrets of these carvings, which seem to depict helicopters and other technology, are still unsolved, and the mysteries don't end there. The story of Dorothy, born in England in 1904, takes the event to an unimaginable level. When little Dorothy was 3 years old, she fell down the stairs of her home and died. The family doctor declared her dead and left her with her family for the burial preparations. However, an hour later, the family urgently called the doctor back. What he saw shocked him. The little girl he had pronounced dead just an hour before was standing in front of him, completely healthy. After this extraordinary event, little Dorothy's English accent began to change. At a very young age, she would hide under the kitchen table and cry, "Please take me home." She described her home as a place with large gardens and surrounded by massive columns. When she was 4, her family took her to the British Museum. As soon as the little girl entered the ancient Egypt section of the museum, she became excited, hugging the statues and saying that these people were her family. At the age of 7, while looking through books, she came across a photograph of the Abydos Temple. She immediately ran to her family, claiming that this was the home she had been telling them about, and she even described how there used to be many more trees and gardens around it. As Dorothy grew older, she married an Egyptian man and moved to Egypt, leaving England behind. However, as she aged, her memories became even more vivid. Her husband couldn't handle her obsession with ancient Egypt, and they eventually divorced. She then found a way to work at the Abydos Temple, assisting archaeologists with minor tasks like carrying supplies. The chain of events starts to become even more mysterious from this point onward. Dorothy, who had been persistently talking about the gardens of the temple, convinces archaeologists to dig in the areas she described. To everyone's shock, they discover an ancient pool exactly where she had said it would be. Suddenly, Dorothy gains attention, and she begins to give even more startling details, describing nearly every event that took place inside and around the temple. Dorothy even revealed the locations of hidden or buried ancient artifacts, leading archaeologists to new discoveries. She claimed to have lived 3,300 years ago as a temple priestess in Abydos. Dorothy shared that when she was 3, her mother, who worked in the market, died, and her father, a soldier in ancient Egypt, sent her to the temple. She grew up serving as a priestess, but after having a forbidden relationship with the pharaoh, she was shamed by the high priest and expelled from the temple. Overcome by the pressure, she took her own life. What truly captures our attention in Dorothy's story is the information about a hidden gateway used by ancient gods, supposedly concealed in a secret chamber of the Abydos Temple. According to her, these gates were used for travel to different dimensions and places, but after the time of the gods, they were sealed and closed forever. Research confirmed that beneath the temple, there are indeed massive stone-sealed chambers. However, since excavating would endanger the structure of the temple, the government did not allow any digging based on mere assumptions. Perhaps one day, the areas Dorothy mentioned could be opened without harming the temple, and humanity could be introduced to a whole new technology. In a remote mountainous region, an interesting 7 by 7 meter rock structure was discovered, with a roughly 2 meter tall door carved into the center. The shamans and locals living in the area, who claim the rock is sacred, refer to the door as the gate of spirits and gods in their myths. According to an ancient Inca legend, the first priest, Aramu Muru, was given a golden disc by the gods. After completing his training, he performed a sacred ritual in front of the door. Then, he placed the golden disc into a depression located in the center of the door. In front of everyone's eyes, Aramu Muru disappeared in a beam of light and was never seen again. To this day, shamans still perform rituals in the area, considering it a very sacred place. Interestingly, just like other ancient gateways such as the ones in Rapa Nui, this carved door in the rock emits a significant amount of electromagnetic energy, according to measurements taken around the site. Before he disappeared, the prophecy of Aramu Muru was recorded as follows: "One day, the gate of the gods will open again, and the gods will return on their solar ships." Who knows, maybe one day, the secrets of a transportation network that once spanned the Earth will be revealed, perhaps even related to extraterrestrials. I'll be diving deeper into these topics in my upcoming research. When you watch those videos, I hope the pieces of this ancient alien puzzle will start to fit together for you. See you in the next video. Take care.